My dad canceled my wedding to accommodate my stepsister's last-minute cruise. So I eloped silently and watched them get evicted from the house I'd been paying the mortgage on for 6 years. Just a quick favor before I continue. Subscribe if you haven't yet and let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. I might give you a shout out next time. I was at the florist finalizing my wedding bouquet when Dad called. "Janae, baby, we need to talk about the wedding." My stomach dropped. 3 weeks before my big day, those words meant nothing good. I'd been planning this June ceremony for 18 months. Philip and I had sent invitations to 200 guests. My dress hung in my childhood closet, the one Dad insisted I keep at his house for safekeeping. "What about it?" I asked, watching the florist arrange white peonies. "Well, Joyce just got invited on this cruise. Real last-minute thing. Her friend canceled and they're offering the spot for half price. Thing is, it's the same weekend as your wedding." Joyce, my 23-year-old stepsister who'd lived with Dad and Sharon for 2 years since dropping out of college. The same Joyce who hadn't held a job longer than 4 months. "Okay, and?" My hands were shaking. "Sharon thinks we should postpone. Just a few weeks. Maybe late July? That way Joyce doesn't miss out and we can all be together for both events." The florist glanced at me, probably noticing my face had gone crimson. "Dad, you're joking, right? I've been planning this for a year and a half. The venue's booked. The caterer's paid. My dress is altered. I know, sweetheart, but family compromises for each other. Sharon's really excited about this cruise for Joyce. It's been hard for her, you know, finding her path." Finding her path. Joyce had found the path to Dad's wallet just fine. "Let me get this straight," I said, my voice eerily calm. "You want me to postpone my wedding because Joyce got a discount on a cruise?" The florist pretended to reorganize roses, clearly listening to every word. "Don't be dramatic, Janae. It's just a few weeks. Everyone will understand." Dad's voice had that tone, the one he used when the discussion was over in his mind. The one I'd heard 6 years ago when he married Sharon 3 months after Mom's funeral. "No," I said firmly. "The answer is no. The wedding is happening on June 15th. Silence stretched between us. Then, "Well, Sharon and I won't be able to make it then. And Joyce is her only daughter. You understand how this puts Sharon in a difficult position." My breath caught. "You're saying you won't come to my wedding?" "I'm saying you're being selfish. Joyce needs this. She's been through a lot. You've always had it easy, Janae. Good job, good man, good life. Let your sister have this one thing." Sister. Joyce had been in my life for 6 years and never once called me sister. I'd called Dad's house home for 28 years, paid his mortgage for the last 6 to help out after his business struggled, and he was choosing a cruise over my wedding. "Dad, I've paid your mortgage for 6 years, I said quietly. "And we've appreciated that. But that doesn't mean." I hung up. The florist handed me a tissue I didn't know I needed. That night, Philip found me crying in our apartment, surrounded by spreadsheets. Not wedding planning spreadsheets. Mortgage statements. 6 years of payments, each one labeled, "Gift to Dad" in my accounting software. $72,000. $72,000 I'd sent to my father's account every single month since I was 22 and landed my job as a junior architect at Richmond and Associates. "Baby, what's happening?" Philip sat beside me, pulling me close. I told him everything. The cruise. The postponement demand. The ultimatum. His jaw clenched tighter with each sentence. "So let me understand. Your dad won't come to our wedding because of a cruise." He said I'm being selfish. Philip was quiet for a long moment. "Do you know why I fell in love with you, Janae? Because you're the most giving person I've ever met. You took on your dad's mortgage when you were barely out of college. You helped Sharon's mother with medical bills last year. You bought Joyce that car when hers broke down. That car. The Honda I'd purchased for $3,000 cash because Joyce needed reliable transportation for job hunting. She'd used it to drive to the beach every weekend instead. What should I do? I whispered. Philip held my face in his hands. What do you want to do? I want to get married on June 15th like we planned. Then that's what we'll do. The next morning I called my best friend Victoria. She answered on the first ring, already knowing something was wrong. That's what 20 years of friendship does. You develop telepathy. Girl, talk to me, she said. I told her everything. She was silent for so long I thought the call had dropped. Then, Janae Marie Peterson, please tell me you're not still paying that man's mortgage. I am. After he just chose a cruise over your wedding? Yes. Lord, give me strength. I heard her pacing, her heels clicking on hardwood floors. Hey, here's what we're gonna do. You're going to marry Philip on June 15th like planned. But we're changing the venue. Victoria. Listen to me. Your dad wants to play games. Let him. We'll do a small ceremony. Just us, Philip's family, and the people who actually love you. Let your dad think the big wedding is postponed. Then live your life. Something shifted in my chest. That feels like lying. No, baby. That's called protecting your peace. And while we're at it, you need to stop paying that mortgage. He was right. Deep down I knew she was right. But the guilt was overwhelming. Dad had raised me alone after Mom died when I was 15. Those years had been hard. He'd worked double shifts. He'd sacrificed. I remembered being 16, sitting in our tiny kitchen while Dad reviewed college applications with me. You're gonna do great things, baby girl, he'd said, his eyes tired but proud. You're gonna be an architect just like your mama wanted. Build beautiful things. Make your mark on the world. Mom had been an architect too. Breast cancer took her 3 months after diagnosis. Dad had been devastated. I'd watched him shrink into himself, barely functioning. For 2 years, it was just us against the world. Then he met Sharon at a grief support group. She'd lost her husband. She had Joyce, a 17-year-old with behavioral issues. Dad said Sharon understood his pain. 6 months of dating. 3 months engaged. Married on a Tuesday afternoon at the courthouse. I'd worn my school uniform because there wasn't time to buy a dress. She makes me happy, Janae, Dad had said. After your mama, I didn't think I'd ever smile again. Sharon brought light back into my life. I'd wanted him happy. I truly had. So when Sharon's air conditioning broke that first summer, I helped pay for repairs. When Joyce needed money for community college classes, I contributed. When Dad's contracting business hit a rough patch and the bank threatened foreclosure, I took over the mortgage payments. Just temporary, Dad had promised. 6 months, maybe a year. Until I get back on my feet. That was 6 years ago. Philip came home that evening with a folder. Don't be mad, he said, which immediately made me nervous. What did you do? I asked my cousin Jeffrey to look into something. Jeffrey was a private investigator. Philip opened the folder and my blood went cold. Inside were bank statements, social media screenshots, and credit reports. Not mine, debts. Philip, this is necessary. Look at this. He pointed to a bank statement from 3 months ago. There was a deposit for $15,000. That's from a construction job. Your dad's business isn't struggling, Janae. He completed a contract for that new shopping center on Riverside. I stared at the numbers. But he said. I know what he said. Now look at these. More statements. Regular deposits. Projects completed. Dad's business wasn't just stable. It was thriving. There's more, Philip said gently. Sharon works full-time at the hospital. She makes $60,000 a year as an office manager. And look at this. He showed me Joyce's Instagram. Recent posts showed designer bags, expensive restaurants, a weekend trip to Miami. All posted within the last 3 months. My hands trembled. They don't need my money. They haven't needed your money for years, baby. They just got comfortable taking it. The betrayal hit like a physical force. I'd eaten ramen for months when I first took over the mortgage, trying to balance my own rent with Dad's house payment. I'd delayed buying furniture, postponed my own dreams, sacrificed my savings. I drove to Dad's house the next day. The house I'd been paying for. The 3-bedroom colonial with the wraparound porch that Dad had bought when I was 8. The house where Mom died. The house that should have been filled with memories but now just felt like a tomb of misplaced loyalty. Sharon answered the door, surprised to see me. "Janae. What a nice surprise. Come in, honey." The living room had new furniture. A massive flat-screen TV dominated one wall. Everything looked expensive, comfortable, updated. My mortgage payments had done that. "Is Dad here?" "He's in the garage. Want some sweet tea?" "No thank you." I found Dad in the garage organizing tools. He looked up startled. "Janae. Didn't expect to see you. Have you thought about what we discussed? Late July could be beautiful for a wedding." "Dad, when were you going to tell me your business is doing well?" His face went blank. "What?" "The shopping center contract. 3 months ago. $15,000. Plus the residential jobs. The office building renovation. Your business is thriving, Dad." Color drained from his face. "Who told you? Does it matter? You've been lying to me. For years." He set down his hammer slowly. "Janae, it's not that simple." "Then explain it to me. Explain why I've paid $72,000 for a mortgage you can afford. Explain why I've sacrificed while Joyce posts pictures with $1,000 handbags. You don't understand the pressure." "I understand perfectly. You found a daughter who'd do anything for your approval and you milked it." Dad's face hardened. "Watch your tone. I'm still your father." "Are you?" "Because fathers show up for their daughters' weddings. Fathers don't lie about financial hardship. Fathers don't choose cruises over their children." Sharon appeared in the garage doorway. "What's going on?" "Your husband has been taking my money for 6 years while running a successful business," I said, my voice steady despite my shaking hands. "Oh, Janae, honey, you don't understand." "Then explain it to me." My voice cracked. "Explain why I've struggled and sacrificed while you renovate and vacation." Sharon's face flushed. "We have expenses you don't know about. Joyce's therapy, my mother's care, the house repairs." "Joyce's therapy that she stopped going to after 2 months? Your mother who lives in a fully paid-off condo in Florida? What repairs? The ones I paid for." The silence was deafening. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. Sharon twisted her hands. "You made me feel guilty," I continued, tears streaming down my face. "Every month I sent that payment feeling like I was doing my duty as a daughter. Meanwhile, you were using me." "We never forced you to pay," Dad said finally, his voice cold. "You offered." "I offered because you said you'd lose the house. You said the business was failing. You said you needed help. And you got to feel like a hero. So really we both got something out of it." Those words shattered something inside me. This wasn't my father. Or maybe this had always been my father and I'd been too blind to see it. I walked out of that garage and didn't look back. In my car I called my bank. "I need to cancel an automatic payment," I told the representative. My voice was robotic, disconnected. "The monthly transfer to account ending in 4739. Cancel it immediately." "Certainly, ma'am. Can I ask if you'd like to schedule a final payment?" "No. No final payment." I called Philip next. "Baby, are you okay?" No. But I will be. Can you call Pastor Williams? Ask if he can do a small ceremony at his church on June 15th. Just immediate family and close friends. 20 people maximum. Consider it done. What about the big venue? Cancel it. Lose the deposit. I don't care anymore. Then I called Victoria. I need your help with something. Anything. I need you to help me plan a wedding in 3 weeks. A real wedding. Small, intimate, beautiful. Everything I actually want instead of what I thought I should want. Victoria's voice was warm. Girl, I've been waiting for you to say that for years. That night, Philip and I sat on our tiny balcony looking at the city lights. Are you sure about this? He asked. I've never been more sure of anything. I'm done living my life trying to earn love that should have been freely given. I'm done sacrificing for people who see me as an ATM. I'm marrying you, Philip. And we're starting our life on our terms. He kissed my forehead. I love you. I love you too. June 15th dawned clear and perfect. Pastor Williams's church was small, historic, beautiful. Victoria had transformed it with simple white flowers and candles. 23 people sat in the pews. Philip's parents, his 2 sisters, his grandmother, my mom's sister Diane who flew in from Atlanta, my college roommate, my co-workers from the architecture firm, and friends who'd proven their loyalty over the years. No one from Dad's side. No one from Sharon's family. And absolutely no Joyce. I wore a different dress. Not the one at Dad's house, but a simple silk gown I'd bought 3 days ago. It was perfect. Everything was perfect. You ready? Aunt Diane asked, linking her arm through mine. She'd agreed to walk me down the aisle. I'm ready. As we walked, I saw Philip at the altar, tears streaming down his face. That's when I knew. This was exactly right. The ceremony was short, meaningful, perfect. When Pastor Williams said, "You may kiss your bride," Philip dipped me dramatically and everyone cheered. At the tiny reception in the church hall, Philip's grandmother pulled me aside. Your daddy's a fool, she said bluntly. But you're free now. That's worth more than any big wedding. He was right. I felt light for the first time in years. No burden of duty, no guilt, no crushing weight of trying to be enough. I was simply Janae, married to the love of my life, surrounded by people who actually valued me. We didn't tell anyone about canceling the mortgage payments. Not yet. That revelation would come on its own. 5 weeks after our wedding, I was at work when Dad called. I'd ignored his previous 17 calls, but something made me answer this one. Janae, we need to talk. The mortgage payment didn't go through this month. I checked with the bank. I know. I canceled it. Silence. Then, what do you mean you canceled it? I mean, I'm done paying your mortgage, Dad. You have a successful business. Sharon has a good job. You can handle your own bills. His voice rose. You can't just stop paying. We have a contract. We have nothing in writing. I was helping out of love and you exploited that. I'm done now. I could hear Sharon in the background, her voice shrill. You can't do this to us. Watch me. Consider it my wedding gift to myself. Freedom from people who only valued my wallet. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but I felt powerful. Victoria appeared at my office door. I'm guessing he noticed the missing payment? Oh, he noticed. Good. Let him sweat. 2 weeks later, Dad called again. Janae, please. We're behind now. The bank sent a warning letter. If we miss another payment, then you'll need to pay it yourself. Like adults do. Sharon got on the phone. After everything we did for you, your father raised you alone after your mother died. And I paid him back $72,000. We're even. You're being cruel and vindictive. This is about the wedding, isn't it? You're punishing us because we couldn't make it. No, Sharon. This is about me finally seeing clearly. 3 months after our wedding, Aunt Diane called. Janae, there's something you should know. Your father's house is in foreclosure. There's a notice on the door. My first instinct was guilt. That old familiar pull to fix everything, to rescue them, to be the good daughter. But then I remembered Dad's words. You got to feel like a hero. So really, we both got something out of it. I remembered the lies, the manipulation, choosing Joyce's cruise over my wedding. Thanks for telling me, Aunt Diane. You're not going to help them? No. I'm not. Good. I'm proud of you, baby. The foreclosure proceedings moved quickly. Dad and Sharon had no savings. They'd spent everything assuming my payments would continue forever. Dad's business income was erratic. They'd lived beyond their means for years, comfortable with me as their safety net. Joyce posted on Facebook, "Can't believe some people would let their own father become homeless. Money changes people." Victoria commented, "So does taking $72,000 from your daughter while lying about needing it. Interesting how that works." The house sold at auction. Dad and Sharon moved into a 2-bedroom apartment in a cheaper neighborhood. Joyce, no longer able to afford her lifestyle, moved in with them. The 3 of them crammed into a space smaller than what they'd had, funded by their own actual income. My phone buzzed constantly. Angry texts from Sharon's relatives, disappointed messages from family friends who'd heard Dad's version of events. I blocked them all. Philip and I thrived. Without the mortgage payment, we saved aggressively. We started planning for our own home, our future, our family. Every day felt lighter. A year after our wedding, Philip and I closed on our first house. A beautiful 3-bedroom craftsman with a yard, a porch, room to grow. We'd saved the down payment in record time, money that would have been paying Dad's mortgage. On moving day, Aunt Diane helped us unpack. "Your mama would be so proud of you," she said, touching my face gently. "You know that, right? She'd be proud you chose yourself." I thought about Mom often. Her strength, her independence, her dreams for me. She'd never wanted me to be anyone's piggy bank. She'd wanted me to build things, create beauty, live fully. Dad drove by once while we were unloading boxes. He slowed down, stared at our house, then drove away. He never stopped. Never apologized. Never acknowledged his role in destroying our relationship. Some people never change. But I changed. I learned that love without respect is manipulation. I learned that family doesn't mean accepting abuse. I learned that sometimes the most radical act of self-love is saying no. Philip and I painted the nursery yellow last month. Our daughter is due in December. We've already decided she'll grow up knowing her worth isn't measured by what she can provide others. She'll learn that healthy relationships are reciprocal, that boundaries aren't cruel, that choosing yourself isn't selfish. Sometimes I miss my dad. I miss who I thought he was. But I don't miss the weight of carrying people who refuse to carry themselves. I don't miss the guilt, the manipulation, the feeling of never being enough. I'm enough exactly as I am. And this life Philip and I have built, filled with genuine love, mutual respect, and honest communication, is worth more than any mortgage payment ever could be. Some stories don't end with reconciliation. Sometimes freedom is the happy ending. And I'm finally beautifully free.